are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Open, the one and only talk show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rina Valentin, your host, Y Café con Leche, every Friday. Let's take a look at today's show. First up, it's our open weekend preview. We have some events to help that New Year resolution and have some fun. Then we'll take a look at Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr.'s inauguration and Bronx Centennial celebration. After that, Darren Chambers joins us to discuss I Can Do That Art exhibition. And next, the sports roundup with Bobby C. And we close the show with spoken word poet David Cruz. So sit down, relax, and get ready. All this is coming your way because now we are officially open. Welcome to Open. I'm Rina Valentin, your host, Y Café con Leche, for the next hour. And, you know, we're always inviting you to get social with us online. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And, of course, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and FB at Rina Valentin. And, well, we're going to get right into all things to do with the Open Weekend Preview. First up, Healing and Wellness Day. The 2014 Open Your Year with Healing and Wellness Day will teach some holistic tools for managing change. That includes presentations on herbal medicine, healthy eating, goal setting, emotional healing, yoga, stress management, fitness, and more. That's happening Saturday, January 18th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Suncofa Cafe and Juice Bar, which is located at 1789 Southern Boulevard at Boston Road and 174th Street. And for more on Healing and Wellness Day, you can call 646-259-2394 or email bronxholistic.healing@gmail.com. Our second preview is a Latin jazz concert featuring Papo Pepin y su orchestra. The legendary master percussionist Papo Pepin and his orchestra will perform hits from their famous collections such as Al Natural and Ponte en Vela, and that's taking place at the Bronx Library Center this Saturday, January 18th from 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. And for more information, you can call 718-579-4244 or visit nypl.org. Next, doo-wop at Lehman Center for the Performing Arts. Doo-wop, yeah. Sal Abbatello presents Rock and Roll is Here to Stay, featuring Fred Paris and the Five Satins, the Belmonts, and others. A fun night for the oldies. And, well, this concert is happening at Lehman Center for the Performing Arts this Saturday, January 18th from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. And for more information, visit lehmancenter.org. And finally, remembering the legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That's an event happening at Trinity Baptist Church in conjunction with the Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr., and they'll be remembering the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King this Monday, January 20th, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And that is happening at Trinity Baptist Church located at 808 East 224th Street, right here in the Bronx. To attend this event, it is recommended that you RSVP by contacting S. Malave at bronxbp.nyc.gov. And, well, that's what we have for you on this long, extended beginning of the year weekend. Enjoy. And now it's time to have my first chat of the year with my BAF, my BAFE nowadays, BAFE. I think it's funny. That stands for Best Animated Friend Ever. Hello, Gail.
Hi there,
Welcome.
Rena. I've missed you.
You did. Happy New Year, honey.
Happy New Year, love.
Oh.
How's everything?
You know, everything's going quite lovely, quite lovely. I mean, you know, of course, with the new year comes in the new resolutions, but, you know, without us really going into that discussion, I just like the whole idea of the new year being the new Bronx. You know, that slogan, it just like, it's sitting with me, it's riding with me, and I'm riding with it.
The new Bronx. I like that slogan.
So do I. So apparently, you know, that was the slogan that was slated at the Centennial and the Bronx Borough President's inauguration.
That's right. I saw that. Here on BronxNet Live, I saw that.
You did.
I did indeed. It was so cool. I've never seen that room so lit, it was so beautiful to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how the actual transformation of like a gala switches the whole ambiance and the feeling of a room. And of course, the people that attend also play a role.
Absolutely. And you know what? You know how that's such a wonderful visual metaphor for the new Bronx and how we're approaching this wonderful borough and how we're just going from the old stigma of the Bronx is burning to a new burgeoning, wonderful borough.
Yeah, you know, you sound enthusiastic too. I mean, you're a new addition to the Bronx too, so we're like super excited to have you.
Girl, I've been here as long as I've been alive.
Well, I know you've been here, but I meant here at BronxNet Studios. I know. You're a Riverdale girl. You've made that very clear. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying, as far as being a voice of the Bronx, and it's quite lovely having you here. You know, this new technology and this form of communicating.
You're absolutely right. It's wonderful to be able to be here and talk about how wonderful the Bronx is. You know what, Rena? I have to say something, though. I'm feeling a little disconnected from you right now.
Why?
I feel so far away.
You know what? You look far away. Can you come a little closer?
You know what?
I kind of feel like I'm
my ankle.
I'm like, hey, Gail.
I kind of twisted my ankle. You know how we were talking about before, you know, working out in your heels?
Right.
Yeah, that didn't go so well the other day. So I'm kind of stuck in place. But maybe next week I'll come a little closer. Maybe
well, I hope you have it wrapped. Do you have it wrapped?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I know. You have an inside joke going on in there. I want to be in there.
No jokes. They're all out in the open. We could joke right now.
I know, but you were open. I like that. I like that. But bump. No, just in the fact that you're sharing you have an injury and that you're so far away, but yet you're close and yet you're here with me. And so I just wanted to know what you were giggling about, because I get it. You know, you got everything in moderation, my dear.
Well, that too. And you know what? I was speaking with our youth coordinator off screen, Miss Marissa White.
Yes.
And she made it very clear that we should all be very positive and think about all the wonderful things that life has to give us, you know? So I can't be really upset that I'm injured. And you were talking about resolutions. Well, I resolved to be happier and have a wonderful outlook on life.
You know, that's a really good way to live, because when you actually transmit that into the universe, that's what you attract.
Absolutely. And, you know, you were just talking about in your open weekend preview about healing and chakras and things like that. Mm-hmm. I think, you know, I want to apply that to myself as well. I'd love to go to that event.
Yeah, doesn't that sound lovely?
It sounds wonderful.
I think the naturopathic way is the way to go, personally. I think, you know, it's very important that we all learn about ourselves and about our bodies and about our thoughts and about, you know, the actual, whatever, preventative medicine that's out there and or the natural way to actually heal oneself. You know, I just feel that it's really, when you go to the doctors and so forth, it's a dual action, you know. Even though the doctor tells you this is what's going on, it's really up to you to decide whether or not, you know, you choose to accept that.
You know what?
And I'm speaking metaphorically, of course.
You know what? It's cool. I think we underestimate how amazing our bodies are and how they can cope and take care of themselves and heal themselves. People just don't give themselves the opportunity to actually, you know, when you get sick, take that in and heal. Let your body do what it's supposed to. I honestly don't go to a doctor unless I feel like I've exhausted all my ways, my homeopathic methods of getting better.
Yeah, and thank you for saying that, because it's true. I mean, that's exactly the point I was trying to make. It's more, everything starts with the thoughts, right? Everything starts with your mind. Everything. And we actually have the ability to heal ourselves with our thoughts, but you have to go and you have to figure out how to do this, because our bodies all operate differently. Even though we have the same functions, we have different thoughts and different ways, different upbringings, different backgrounds, and different ailments, or, different injuries, whatever it is. It just, knowledge is power, as they say.
Absolutely. And you just said about healing with your thoughts. Every year, I refuse to get sick. I just tell myself, I will not get sick. You are not getting sick. If I feel a little cough or a little scratch in the back of my throat, I'll drink some extra OJ or take some vitamin C. But then I tell myself, no, you are not getting sick. And you know what? It actually kind of works.
You know what? I hear you. I couldn't visualize you sick anyway. But oh no! Don't do that! Don't do that! Don't show me wrong. Okay. But I'm with you. I very rarely get sick as well, and one of the reasons is because I cook with a lot of garlic. I do. But I purposely cook with a lot of garlic, and to the point that if I do feel something coming down, I'll thinly slice the garlic and include it in my salads, and it becomes part of the dressing, and hence I'm eating raw garlic.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, and garlic is a natural antibiotic. So, it's just going back to knowledge is power. It's just sharing that knowledge is power, and these events that we're holding, such as the Bronx Holistic Healing event, they're really good for you to go and explore and just learn other methods and other modalities of just, wellness.
Absolutely, and to tie that all together, it's all about the new Bronx and how we approach ourselves and our neighbors and the new immigrants and our old established families here. We all get together, learn new things, learn old things. It's going to be great.
It is going to be great, and I'm so excited to hear your enthusiasm and to share our new year together.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
Nice. Do a little move for me, Mama.
I know, I want to.
You just made my morning. Thank you, Gail.
You're welcome, Rena. See you next week.
All right, darling. Enjoy the weekend. Mwah, to you too. Oh my goodness. I am feeling you, sister. That's why you're my BAFE, best animated friend ever. And, speaking of the new Bronx, we are actually going to take a first-hand look at Bronx Borough President Diaz Jr.'s inauguration, right? He gets inaugurated in his second term, and the kickoff of the Bronx Centennial Celebration. This vibrant event featured prominent leaders, including our new mayor, a New York City Council speaker, and the Bronx delegation. Let's take a look.
Happy birthday to the Bronx. Hundreds celebrated the Bronx's 100th birthday anniversary at a kickoff ceremony at the Veterans Memorial Hall of the Bronx County Building. There, Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. was sworn in for his second term as the entire Bronx New York City Council delegation, and New York City Council Speaker Melissa Mark Viverito looked on.
The last 100 years have seen major changes in the Bronx on all fronts, demographically, culturally, economically. We are one of the most diverse places in the world, and here in the Bronx, we embrace that diversity. The Bronx is constantly changing and constantly evolving. As we look back to the past, let us reflect on the first 100 years of Bronx County. But we must also be mindful of the future and where the next 100 years will take us.
Justice Douglas McKeon also swore in the newly elected members of the City Council in the event meant to acknowledge the creation of the Bronx in 1915 as a separate borough from Manhattan County.
I am just so ecstatic about knowing the history and being a part of the day making history. For another 100 years, when they do this again, they'll look back and see who were the individuals, the players, the borough president, Diaz, delivering a speech along with the new mayor. I'm just so excited that I had a time to be an opportunity to be a part of all of this.
I'm glad to be part of that and to be part of the 100-year celebration. I could have been elected 20 years ago, 20 years later, but to be here exactly in the 100-year celebration, I count it an honor. And we celebrate everyone else who made the Bronx to be what it is today, and we cannot forget the past if we are going to appreciate the future.
Also providing a look back at the borough's history to how far it's come, Bronx Borough historian Lloyd Olten.
The Bronx Borough Courthouse was erected in 1906 to provide some local court for the convenience of Bronxites. But most people believed it was built to be a future county courthouse. For more than a decade, lawyers, business, civic, and political leaders waged a long fight against Tammany Hall Democrats and upstate Republicans to get the state legislature to establish a Bronx County. Thus, on the first day of 1914, Judge Louis D. Gibbs inducted the newly chosen county officials into office. With this act, Bronx County was underway.
A plaque was also unveiled by the Bronx Chamber of Commerce commemorating the historic resurgence of the Bronx.
The Bronx can really celebrate not only its 100-year history, but especially its resurgence today, because there's a real renaissance in the Bronx, with businesses moving in, the population is increasing, the deterioration has really ended.
So the best years of the Bronx are ahead, and we're delighted to be here. We're delighted to be supportive of our borough president, who has a vision, who always stands tall for the borough and doesn't let anybody disrespect us.
Fresh from his own inauguration, Mayor Bill de Blasio came to praise Diaz Jr. for his leadership.
The Bronx is synonymous to me, and Mr. President, I will not be political. I would never do that. The Bronx is synonymous to me with progressive values. And when you look, you can clap for that. When you look year after year in this city, where some of the most powerful progressive voices come from, it's the Bronx. When you look, if you happen to peruse election results, as some of us have been known to do from time to time, you look at the extraordinary message you get from the Bronx in terms of the kind of values that we need to make this a city that's more fair and equitable for all.
The event, followed by a reception, further put the best of the Bronx on display.
Well, 100 years, my family, my grandmother and my grandfather from 1922 on Arthur Avenue. And they were always very Bronx proud. To be in Little Italy on Arthur Avenue, I know I'm in the best Little Italy in New York. But to be in the Bronx makes it special.
The best people in the world live in Bronx County.
Mainland Media started with a mission to help improve the image of the Bronx. Two companies fall under the Mainland Media umbrella. One is From the Bronx, FromTheBronx.com, where we sell all of our Bronx-themed merchandise. And the other is the Bronx Beer Hall. And currently in the center of the Arthur Avenue Retail Market at 2344 Arthur Avenue.
A 100th birthday is very special, and we have to celebrate it in a special way and commit ourselves to the next 100 years. Progress, of promise, and of accomplishment. So I couldn't be happier to be part of it.
And the Bronx Historical Society has events planned throughout the year.
We have 2 walking tours scheduled. One is going to be in Mott Haven, and the other one is going to be along the Grand Concourse.
As if this wasn't enough, the Empire State Building is being lit up in orange, white, and blue. Those are the colors of the Bronx flag. If you'd like more information on the history of the Bronx, you can go to bronxbp.gov. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Makoko.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Hello and welcome back to Open. Rina Valentin here, and we're going to talk a little bit about abstract art. You know, abstract art uses a visual language of form, color, and line to create composition. And to help us understand a little more about the world of abstract art and to give us the 411 on upcoming art exhibit, I Can Do That. And I keep saying do that because that's how it's written. Produced by Danny Simmons and Russell Simmons, we welcome Darren Chambers back to our open set. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi.
Thank you for being here with us.
I'm
Happy
doing
New
fine.
Year's to you.
Happy New Year's to you too.
Wow, the last time we had you on here was like years ago.
Years ago, yeah.
Years ago, and look at you out there doing your thing, and rubbing elbows with some really prominent people.
Yeah, it's the blessings of social media. I've been constantly using Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Right.
That's awesome, and just putting my work out there on Facebook. Danny Simmons reached out to me, and he said, "I need you to be part of a show."
Okay, he reached out to you through social media.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you were out there putting your stuff out there. That's awesome. That's really inspirational. Please hear. I wanted to go a little bit back into your history, but let's continue with this story, and then we'll share a little bit because your story is very interesting. So,
thank you.
But go ahead, tell us about Danny Simmons.
Well, Danny Simmons is a great advocate of the arts, especially visual arts. He's also an artist, and he's the brother of Russell Simmons, the founder of Def Jam, and pretty much Fat Farm to the hip hop mogul of starting Def Jam.
Right, and then they have this foundation called Rush Arts.
That's correct.
Right. And so, just to share a little bit about Darren, he's actually from the Bronx, and you're actually legally blind in one eye.
Yeah, I don't like talking about it, but
just to share with everyone the beauty of, when you're passionate about something, you're unstoppable.
Yeah, I just remember, when I was a child and living in the Bronx, South Bronx, actually, on Evergreen Avenue, the projects. I was born. I remember as a child, I was just legally born with just trying to get used to not seeing in that eye. And my mom would put a patch on my eye, right?
Right.
And I felt like I was a pirate or something because I just had this patch, but it just never that patch never trying to help my vision. And
right.
I just got used to from now. I just got used to just working with that one eye
with that side.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop me from painting. So.
Well, it's just the beauty of the fact that this is what you chose to do, and it's obviously visual arts, right?
That's right.
So it's kind of like an oxymoron, you know?
It is.
And it's just beautiful. And I just wanted to share with everyone the fact that you chose to do something with your life, and regardless of what cards were dealt, this is what you chose, and this is what you are. And look at where you are now.
I'm telling you, it's a
amazing.
blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing that God gave me a gift. So.
Yeah, he did. And you know what? In addition to the art exhibit that you're actually part of, right? Which, I don't know if the camera's got some shots on some of your images, but I know, I remember from having you in the past, you make a lot of social awareness. You create a lot of social awareness through your art. You make a lot of social comments through your artwork. Yes. And the fact that there's language being spoken through your art, maybe you want to tap into that a little bit?
Of course. What painting you want to start with first?
Well, this is interesting. We have an eagle upside down, and obviously, I don't know if the camera can get that shot. The eagle actually is lying on the American flag, and so obviously art is about interpretation, and we were speaking a little bit about abstract. Does this fall in the category of abstract art?
Well, this is a series that I'm working on. I have a couple of genres. I have the abstraction series, as well as this is the social political aspect of it.
Right.
It's a different series.
Right.
I call it Ignorant Trill World, meaning trill means true. It's a slang.
Right.
Ignorant is the ignorance of what's going on in the world today.
Right.
The world affairs, social issues.
Right.
Political issues.
Right.
And I try to fuse all of that into the new genre of work I'm working on right now.
Right. And so what are you hoping to get through using Ebonics as a form of language to the ones that wouldn't get it, right?
Trill is very, popular in pop culture.
Okay.
And, but it's more than just the Ebonics, you know. There's a lot of underlying, social, political issues and tone, you know, that speaks out in these pieces. Right here, let me explain to you about this piece. It's based
we're actually looking at this flag. Oh, look, and we've got Malcolm X.
That's one of my friend's paintings, actually.
Oh, okay, so this is the I Can Do That series that we're looking at right now.
Actually, this is a exhibition at the DJ Scratch Academy.
Oh, right, because you're also doing another exhibit.
Yeah, no, those social political paintings are shown there, actually. I Can Do That exhibition is based on abstract pieces. Yeah, these are my friends' work, actually, that are participating in the show.
Okay, so we have two exhibits that we're actually here to discuss.
That's right.
And we've got your live paintings here, so we can talk a little bit about this, but really we're here to talk about these exhibits in which you're being featured alongside other artists. And so I guess with that, we can share the message of like, okay, we just did some socio-political artwork, and that was nice of you to send us images of your friends' work, you know, because not only are you promoting yourself, you just promoted someone else.
Definitely.
That's hot. I appreciate that. You know, I hope you guys get that as well. And so, how much paintings do you have? How about that? Let's start with that.
I have an average of over 50.
Over 50. What inspires you?
You know, sometimes I turn on the TV and watch CNN and just try to soak in like a sponge the current affairs that's going on right now in the world. Well, also on the aspect, I also listen to jazz music. I also listen to different kinds of music on the abstract tip when I do the abstraction work.
Now, do you consider your work to be controversial?
It could be. Yeah, it can be.
Do you purposely create it to be controversial?
Sometimes I don't care. You know, I just do it because of the way I feel. It's a feeling based upon certain issues. So I just do it and just need to show it because it's a voice. It's an inner voice of mine.
Right. You know, I wish we could get a camera on this just because there's a Nike symbol on it. And it's not to promote Nike, but I know there's a reason behind Nike being in this image where there's children actually making the sneakers. Because there's factories in places where they have underage children making sneakers.
That's correct.
Well, which I don't know if a lot of people are aware of that. And so you're like saying, look, you know, our children are working, underage. And, you know, that's the world we live in.
That's the world we live in.
And then this gentleman, can we bring the camera a little lower so we can just talk about this one? It's obviously, you know, a military person hanging like I'm assuming on puppet strings with a gun on puppet strings. Is that because he has no control?
That's correct. You got it right on the mark. Yeah, it's based on a military soldier, and he's being controlled by the government, you say.
Right. And so, you know, back to the music, because I remember having you on the show. Thank you for sharing this stuff, because this is deep. This is deep. Yeah. You know, I don't know if we can do this, do a camera shot on this image, because, let's see, we have a whole family on a motorcycle, and lots of children.
Right.
I don't know if that's to relate it to a third world country.
That's correct.
And and the fact that, you know, as a family they still stick together one way or another. They get it done. They get from point A to point B.
I'm telling you.
How many of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's
seven
right.
on one motorcycle.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So I thank you for capturing this, and thank you for sharing your voice in this manner. And what I had wanted to ask before I started asking about this painting is, like, do you choose the music to inspire you to express your message, or does the music express the message for you?
Well, when I do the abstraction pieces, I say the music does it for me, basically, and but then it goes into me, and then I'll just go off and just go into my zone.
Into your zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen you go into your zone. It's quite the vision, you know. Not only is he a fabulous artist with an amazing, like strong and powerful voice of consciousness, he is a performer in his artwork. So he performs while he draws through music, and it's a beautiful thing. And you're a true inspiration. So before we go, we got to share with everyone everywhere you're being exhibited, and make sure that they have the websites and everything that they can visit, because all of your artwork is on display there as well.
I want to say I appreciate being on the show and for you to interview me and to understand my work, because you definitely understand the work. So I want to thank you too as well.
Oh, it's our pleasure. It's our pleasure to share it with everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's make sure they can go see it in live.
Yeah, I want everyone to try to make it.
So where are the locations?
The locations. Well, tomorrow I will be showing my contemporary art at the Skylight Gallery, located at Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Plaza. That's on 1368 Fulton Street in Brooklyn, 3rd floor.
And I Can Do That is where?
That's I Can Do That.
That's I Can Do That. And you're being exhibited alongside?
Danny Simmons and a whole slew of, say, 85 contemporary abstract artists. It's a big show in different locations, but that's the main show. That's where I'm going to be in with every other.
That's awesome.
Artist.
I'm so happy for you. You see it, right? I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
And so if anybody wanted to look at some more of your work and or find where your other exhibits are, what website would they go to?
Pretty much I'm on Facebook right now. I'm just promoting on Facebook. So Contemporary Art of Darwin Chambers is one.
Okay.
Or just Darwin Chambers itself on Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your show.
Thank you.
Wow, what an amazing message. I mean, that's the power of social media. That's the world we live in. So, make sure you're out there tweeting and Facebooking, because you never know who's going to find you. How awesome. And right here in the Bronx, Darren. All right, so we do have to take a quick break, but before that, let's take a look at the Borough President's Honor Ceremony celebrating Puerto Rican heritage at Monroe College with our correspondent, Isamaris Rivera.
Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. celebrates Puerto Rican Heritage Month by honoring influential elected officials and community leaders.
I've been around a while. I've participated in so many events throughout my political career in the Bronx. But when you get honored by the borough president during Puerto Rico Heritage Month, having been born in Puerto Rico, came here when I was 7 years old. Bronx is my home, Puerto Rico is my birthplace. All of that comes together and the celebration is special.
And I hope that being the first Hispanic and the first Hispanic female in the history of the collection, that there are others to follow.
It's amazing, it's humbling, and very satisfying to know that all of the years that I put into this have wound up being so fruitful. Well, what I would say to Puerto Rican women, especially those single women, that it is possible to do everything that you want to do. Your dreams can come true. You can raise children, you can work, and you can receive high-level positions in whatever you do, but you have to work hard and be dedicated to it.
Mi sueño era siempre poder tener la oportunidad de darle música a la gente de la tercera edad, a la gente de la edad de oro. Siento feliz y contento porque esto me demuestra que la labor que estamos haciendo está llegando. Porque si la mantenemos viva, le estamos enseñando a nuestros niños, a nuestros hijos, a que la mantengan viva, porque de ahí es que venimos, de la cultura. Y hablar cultura es humildad, es sencillez y es ser un verdadero jíbaro puertorriqueño.
This is Bobby C, and our Weekend Sports takes us out to the world's most famous arena, where the New York Rangers are red hot, winners of 4 of 5.
Team that was going to score one of those goals, like, because both guys, both Hank and Howard, had their A game out there, and they were seeing the puck and controlling the rebounds, and we were just fortunate to finally be able to put one past them.
With a scoreless game in the third period, Matt Zuccarello came up as the hero of the night, scoring his 12th goal en route to a 1-0 victory over the Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah, it's good, 2 good goals out there, and it was typical one of those goals that's going to decide the game. And we had a lucky bounce at the end there too, and they hit the post, so it was nice.
With a few minutes left in regulation, King Henrik preserved the win.
It's just a great feeling when you play well as a group and it pays off in the end. And we had a lot of that lately, and then it really boosts the group here.
Aside from a narrow 2-1 loss to Tampa Bay on Tuesday, the Rangers have been on point of late. King Henrik was magnificent on Thursday night, and the Broadway Blue Shirts proved that tight defense, sterling goalie play, and timely scoring equals victories. It also may equal tough outcome playoff time if the Rangers can continue this combination of winning many tight games. Nothing tight about the final score in Indy last night. The Knicks couldn't keep pace with the Pacers, the best home team in the league. Brooklyn native Lance Stevenson went off for a career-high 28 points. He also grabbed 4 rebounds and dropped 4 assists, leading Indianapolis to its second most lopsided win of the season, 117-89. For the Pacers, it was their 9th straight home victory. Frustrated Knicks star Carmelo Anthony was critical of head coach Mike Woodson in the post-game locker room. Woodson summed up the loss as, open quote, awful, close quote. The Knicks have won 5 of 7, but they have dropped 2 in a row on the road. The Orange and Blue will look to regroup tonight against a surging LA Clipper team at the Garden before gearing up to host rival Brooklyn for a matinee on MLK Day. The team may be without Kenyon Martin and Amari Stoudemire, who both suffered ankle injuries in the loss to the Pacers. As for the Nets, Brooklyn is 16-22, and like the Knicks, continues to try and piece together improved stretches after some dismal play at the start of the season. Maybe the Nets should think about moving their franchise to London. Brooklyn improved to 3-0 in regular season NBA games in London with a 127-110 victory over the Atlanta Hawks Thursday. Joe Johnson led the way in the British capital, netting 26 of his game-high 29 points in the first half. Brooklyn ownership is optimistic that the Nets are turning a corner, and new head coach Jason Kidd called the latest stretch, open quote, a process, close quote. The Nets return to action Monday at Madison Square Garden. The Final Four of the NFL postseason is a fantastic four, to say the least. This weekend, NFL fans can get the dream matchup that they've been waiting for. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, as the New England Patriots will square off against the Denver Broncos in Mile High, while the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks, the NFC's 2 premier teams, will face off for a right to meet either Brady or Manning in the New York-New Jersey Super Bowl on Sunday, February 2nd. With both New York teams out of the playoff picture, last week we took one final look at the last Giants win of the season. This week we'll turn back the clock and take one more look at the last home win of the season for the New York Jets, a 24-13 win over Cleveland. Roll 'em.
He said, go out there and do what we should be doing. We should have done all along, play hard, play for each other, and play for the name on your jersey.
Because I came in mid-season, and so we had to continue to work out. Those are timing routes, and those are something he's got to trust him to be in the right place at the right time. And I think you saw that he put it right in the money, right where it needed to be, and I was in the right spot at the right time. And so those are 2 plays that we've been practicing for 6 weeks. We just haven't been able to put it in the game plan yet. And then Coach felt comfortable with this week, and just happened to pay off.
Our home crowd has been great, man. They've been supporting us through thick and thin, being there when we need them, and I think it gives us a lift and actually make things a lot easier for us when we got momentum and crowd screaming and going crazy for us. So like you said, it builds momentum for coming into your next year and taking care of business again.
As reported, the Jets have signed head coach Rex Ryan to an extension. The team is hoping to build off a nice season that many didn't expect from the club this year. Time for some quick hitters. Yankee ACC Sabathia has signed on with rap mogul Jay-Z's Rock Nation. Jay-Z also represents former Yankee All-Star and newest Seattle Mariner Robinson Cano. Alex Rodriguez is set to take his case to court. MLB reduced the suspension to 162 games all of this upcoming season, plus playoffs for his involvement with PEDs. Back on the diamond, the Bronx Bombers have inked Francisco Cervelli to a one-year deal. Across town, the Mets have reached one-year deals with Ike Davis and Eric Young Jr. Florida men's basketball has lost 5 straight. Tough one, including an 80-68 final to Dayton on Wednesday night at home. The Rams will look to bounce back Saturday at St. Louis. Meanwhile, the women's team at Fordham is 15-3, winners of 2 in a row, and play Dayton on the road Sunday. Staying on the college hardwood, the Manhattan men's team is 13-3 and playing very well of late. The Jaspers are 10-1 over their last 11 games. They'll be at Fairfield on Saturday and then home next Friday in Riverdale for Ryder. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for my 2 cents on the latest turn in the Alex Rodriguez saga. A-Rod met with the media for the first time Thursday. He was making a promotional appearance in Mexico and said the ban will allow him to rest mentally and physically. What A-Rod fails to mention is that the latest news may also leave his legacy and future in doubt. It does, however, help the Yankees in their pursuit of Tanaka now that the money owed to A-Rod will be pretty much swept off the books for 2014 and in turn can be given to another star, presumably the Japanese ace pitching import, who could be a difference maker in their rotation and turn what Brian Cashman has deemed an 80-plus win team into a 90-plus win team and maybe, just maybe, a World Series winner. Although the Yankees will manage, I still feel that this is a very sad story, even if A-Rod may not deserve much sympathy for his actions and his attitude throughout the years. Both may leave a lot to be desired, but he clearly was one of the game's best players, a 3-time MVP. It just remains unclear how much of that was real and how much of it was juiced. I always root for happy endings. I hope for A-Rod and his fans, especially the kids, he can return clean and finish his career on a high note. Chime in on Twitter at @TheVoiceBobbyC and share your thoughts with me. That's your sports on Bobby C. Be back with more Open right after this.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
Barry, time is running out. According to my calculations, 1 in 5 kids in America struggles with hunger. How can so many children face hunger when there's more than enough food to feed them all? You're right, Barry. We can help solve hunger by teaming up with Feeding America to get food to hungry kids in communities across the country.
Help Flint and the Feeding America network of food banks get food to the people who need it in your community. Find your local Feeding America food bank at feedingamerica.org/hunger.
Together, we're Feeding America.
You can say with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. One book can be the first thing helps to change a life. Book people unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
I don't know what's happening. Start a new chat. What did I do? Okay. Wow. That is so weird.
Hey! Hi!
Oh my gosh. Hi! God, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm so nervous. Gia, you're so big. Come closer to the camera. Wait, now you're in my face. That was so good.
Hey, welcome back to Open. Let's put on our philosophical thoughts as we set the stage comfortably for our poetic Open Artist Spotlight.
The Open Artist Spotlight is made possible in part with public funds from the Bronx Council on the Arts.
through the New York State Council on the Arts Decentralization Program.
Poetry is a form of art expression that many of us practice and sometimes even use as personal therapy. Sometimes our most beautiful emotions and our saddest moments can be transformed into beauty through the art of poetry. Here to delight us is spoken word artist David Cruz.
We grew up believing that no one would fall in love with us, that our broken strings bled the blues. Hearts played hopscotch as our thoughts created ripples within the lake with the sticks and stones they threw at us. The words will forever hurt me. The indifference of labels conformed box of existence. Tears and a torn ego became my religion. Our bodies, a canvas of painted purple and blue. Streaks of rubies fell from cuts and bruise. I had fallen into a world where bully was God. And tomorrow was judgment. Today was hell. We fail to understand the power of our words and the scars that they may leave, for the scars unseen are usually the deepest. I have seen crippled legs run with confused knees as spotlights of stairs focused on the different. He has the soul of an angel with a body of smeared genetics. His imagination and creativity is breathtaking, but sometimes I feel his smile is taken for granted. My brother struggles to find a place in this world because there are those unwilling to help plant his feet. So when I walk with him and he looks up and smiles, I tell him that different is exactly what this world needs. You see, as children, we are sculpted and formed by what is around us. Society dictates the norm as we are bred to fall in line. Schools become shark tanks as we struggle to stay afloat. Prey of pressure as acceptance grips our throats. Groups and cliques become filled with Halloween masks as we struggle to show our true self. Brainwashed to a point that we forgot what made it dirty in the first place. And those that don't seem to fit the mold are outcasts to the borderlines of depression and worthless. We fight, we struggle, we do our best to be who we are. But these bars that we hold on to of verbal abuse confine the mind to a jail cell. Encase our reality within the walls of limitations as we try to escape by running deeper and deeper within ourselves. Slit thoughts pour from the wrists of the broken. Puzzle pieces refusing to mend because they don't portray the same picture. See, in 2013, 1 in 4 kids were bullied on a regular basis in the United States. 77% of children faced verbal or mental abuse, words. 14% of those children faced deep depression, anxiety, and thoughts of suicide. This is predominantly in the 12 to 17 age range. Words hold more power than a fist, and though the impact may not be seen, our soul can only take so much of a beating. Spectators will most likely remain as such rather than confronting a problem. As if World Star was their life goal, we pause and record, and then we laugh and ignore the cries as the stab to the soul gets to a point where another sunrise is a letdown. How much of ourselves are we willing to lose? We have symphonies of positivity at the tips of our tongue, but we plague ourselves with our speech in cursive. Slurred words that are a little too hard to swallow, drowned in sorrow as we struggle with God to give back the time that He let us borrow. We can change the world, but that gift does not belong to the normal or the expected. It belongs to something different. And different is beautiful. Thank you.
David! Oh goodness, how old are you?
22.
Wow, so deep and profound.
Thanks.
You're like moving out of the way. I just wanted to make sure that was out of the way. Oh, you're nervous?
Yeah,
oh my goodness, let's give it up for him one more time.
Thanks.
That was awesome.
Thanks.
Oh goodness, you are definitely going to impact some people who are just sitting on the couch, reflecting on life as in the new year. That's what tends to happen.
Yeah.
And at your age, you're like really, you nailed it with word. It's all about word.
Yeah, thank you.
It's all about word.
I mean, you was talking earlier about the power of the mind, and poetry is how I filter the thoughts and emotions within mine, and luckily people enjoy listening to the message, so that's why I love spoken word. Like, it's a passion. It's my passion.
How long have you been doing it?
I've been writing since 3rd grade, but I started doing spoken word in college about 4 years ago with the poetry group Exiled from Dickinson College, and then I came here, and then I've been doing poetry wherever I can.
What do you mean you came here? Where'd you come from?
Oh, well, I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, New York.
Right.
But I went to college in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and then that's where I started spoken word. And then once I came back, I continued it here in New York.
Okay, so what led you to spoken word? Did something happen? I mean, just because your writing is very profound.
Yeah. I wrote a lot to myself, and then people were interested in reading it, and then they asked me to read it out loud, and then people started pushing me to the spotlight, and then
right. But that's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you what happened that led you to writing it. Come on.
Yeah, it's just
dig in there.
It's just a reflection of self. I struggle showing emotions, trying to fit into this definition of man that society puts us in. That's why there's a mask within the word masculinity. So poetry was my way of expressing my emotions to myself rather than keeping it pent up inside and then destroying myself in the end.
Sheesh. Wow. Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
basically what you're saying is like you started to reflect on becoming a man.
Yeah.
Or what society defines to be a man.
Yeah. It's because when it comes to a man, society tells us we're not supposed to cry. We're not supposed to be emotional. Supposed to be strong and a leader, and that's not. Men are really emotional and sensitive, and the fact that it's wrong for us to go portray that keeps a lot of turmoil inside us. And poetry was my way of filling that out and putting it outside of me, so that way I could really understand myself.
Yeah, well, they say we all have both energies. There's feminine energy and masculine energy,
right.
and I agree with you. I think men are trained to actually believe that they're not supposed to cry. They're not supposed to show that feminine side.
Yeah.
Right, within our society anyway.
Yes. Yeah, correct.
Right, and so it's very interesting that you would say that. That you were already creating turmoil. You were able to nail it before it started, I guess, right. building and I don't know, maybe that's why a lot of people walk around uptight.
Yeah. It's always good to go find that point where you could vent and then understand yourself better, because no one else is going to do that for you. So in order to find any love or any understanding elsewhere, you must first find it within yourself. So like I said, poetry is my way of doing that.
You're absolutely right. Oh my goodness, are you a professor yet? I mean, because you're absolutely right. You cannot give love to someone before you give it to yourself, right? You have to love self first, right, and then you can love second even better.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is okay. How many spoken word pieces do you have so far?
I have a lot. I have a lot written down. I have about 8 to 10 memorized. But I'm still continuing to grow. I'm still, going to open mics and different showcases, not only so that way I can perform, but so that I can listen and then understand the craft of other people so I could grow within that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
David, thank you so much for coming here and sharing your thoughts and your words with us here on our Open Artist Spotlight.
Thank you.
Now, if anybody wanted to go see you live, where would they do so?
I go all over the place. Most likely, I guess the best way is to email me. My email is d.cruz, CRUZ 922@gmail.com. I'm also on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Broken Harmony.
Broken Harmony?
Yeah.
Ay, Dios mío.
Yeah, it's all one
Broken
word.
Harmony.
Yeah. But that's the best way to reach me. And then if you know of any events, I'm more than willing to make it.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here with us. David Cruz, everybody. Broken Harmony. I love it. I love
Thank
it.
you.
It's poetic.
Thank you.
All right, people, that is our show today. Thanks to all our guests for coming through and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. Be sure to check out the Recablecast tonight and throughout the weekend here on BronxNet 24 hours a day at bronxnet.org. Don't forget to tune in on Wednesday for the Open Edition with Darren Jaime. And once again, I'm Rina Valentin. And from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide peace, prosperity, and love. Enjoy your holiday weekend and, reflect a little on Dr. Martin Luther King Day. Adios. Come, Darren. Yeah.
Proclamation. Set free the mind enslaved within their own attempt at selfish justification. Unsew the lips of capitalized unity as our worth and the national debt continue to go their separate ways. Open the eyes of the innocent as the hands of the guilty lay open, still asking for change. And understand that just because we wave the flag to the masses does not mean we forget the slavery within its seams. But today's slaves remain silenced, with no realizations that they are private property, a statistic. See, we have iPods for locks with headphones for chains, limiting this interactions between people, keeping this illusion of order within frame, dictated thoughts through false words of the supreme. The government cares more for our wallets than its people, yet they still call this the American dream. Blindfolded truth, they work with collars of greed, so if silence is what they seek, then call this peace mutiny. Call this peace treason. Call this a terrorist attack. It's a conspiracy to bomb the system. You see, the new plantations are our fields of thoughts with name brands and dead presidents for masters. Pulled us into a ship called free will and equality as their lives was covered within its boards. See, the slavery without the chains is still all slavery just the same. The only difference is back then, they knew who to fight against. Release the grip of social acceptance from your throat. Understand that societal guidelines are just for you to learn to get in line without question. Feed you false hope so you lack the process of second guessing. Brainwash your focus as our progression lessons. And speak your mind only to fall to the law of freedom. That freedom is not free for those that use it. So if freedom is not free, then I clearly do not have enough. And if my being is connected to a social class, I guess all these priceless experiences all have a price tag. So, to escape, my underground railroad is held within my above ground vocal cords. And I speak to those that have been on the wrong side of the road with the only company is a raised thumb for those that don't look back. I speak to those that have piled bills, but they have every Jordan in every color. I speak to those struggling to support their family with the only lifeline is the open doors of a church. Struggling, supporting 3 kids, a sick mother, 4 jobs, and still looking for work. You see, our country preaches change, so Congress throws quarters, nickels, and dimes, and I'm giving you my 2 cents hoping that it makes a dollar. Our hands continue to bleed from empty pockets of labor pains. Our country preaches freedom, yet here we are, still in chains. Thank you.
Woo! David Cruz, everybody. David Cruz.
Thanks.
Nice. Thank you. Great job. Thank you.